Welcome to the SHT podcast. This podcast is created by superhumans, for superhumans, and anyone else who wants to look, feel, and perform like a freaking badass. Your holistic health journey starts here. Rediscover how we...
Yeah!
Paul, sit your ass down.
I need everyone to know we just did a prayer with our feet held instead of our hands held together.
Well, yeah, maybe people don't know, we usually do a little prayer holding hands before every one of these episodes to set the intention, because we really care. Mm-hmm. And today we're sitting across from each other outside, and we just high-feeted.
We high-feeted.
High-feeted.
How is your foot, by the way?
You mean my little patch of eczema?
No, your little glass thing that happened.
Oh, yeah, that we surgically removed inside the gym with
with the pair of tweezers?
A thumbtack and a pair of tweezers?
Yes.
It's great.
Good.
But it's like when they dug that out, when I went on that observation point hike, which was like, I think, 8 miles round trip, I did it completely barefoot, and then it got infected.
Oh, no.
So then I could feel it, and I was sticking needles in there, and pus was shooting out of it.
All right.
And then I was like, should I go into the doctor for this? But I didn't, so.
Speaking of 8 mile round hikes, you must be very thirsty on those hikes.
Yeah? Yes. Thirsty for something, for sure.
Hydration.
Yeah.
So that's what we're talking about today, is hydration. The heat is here. We're in Las Vegas.
Here in Vegas, it's hot as hell.
And I wanted to bring some questions and some myths that I really wanted to talk about today, and just kind of get your opinion, your answer on those for the people who aren't in our community and for the people who are in it.
Cool. Yeah, because hydration does have a lot of stuff with it. It is a good time of year right now because we are in the heat of Vegas, but it's just going to be useful no matter what, I assume, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let's start with the first one. This one's very common.
Okay.
I used to do this all the time and be neurotic about it.
Yeah.
That everyone needs to drink 8 glasses of water a day.
Okay. Yeah, so I don't know where to start with that, except I think that a lot of times in the beginning when someone's starting on a healthier path, right, it might be useful to have some guidelines, some little rules, so you can say, okay, this is my goal for the day or something like that. The traditional holistic guidelines for hydration are going to be half your body weight in ounces up to 100 ounces per day. Okay, so regardless of how much you weigh, if you weigh 300 pounds, half your body weight, 150 pounds, that's 150 ounces, we'd recommend, you want to cap that off at 100 ounces in a day, right? So now if you do, let's say we do the 8 glasses of water. How many ounces is that?
Oh, dear Lord, do not.
That's right.
I have no idea.
You love me asking questions. Well, okay, so if you do 8 times 16, what is it?
Oh my gosh, wait.
I couldn't do it without a calculator. I pre-did it.
Wait. You said 16 times 8?
Yeah, because you're saying 8 glasses of water, right?
126? 128? 128.
Which is what?
Oh, fluid ounces, which is at the cap.
No,
well, it's a little above the cap.
But what is 128 ounces, too? It's a gallon, if you didn't know.
Oh, is that really?
Yes.
Oh, I did not know that.
So where did they come up with the 8 glasses of water?
Dear Lord, I had no idea.
They said a gallon per day.
A gallon.
And then they just came up with, divided by 8. They could have divided by 6. They could have divided by, But 16 ounces goes into that 8 times, So
you're telling me if I just go get a gallon jug at the gas station,
and you drink that in a day,
plenty.
That's more than enough. But it's beyond our recommendations, because our recommendations are 100 ounces.
Okay.
Now, a lot of that's dependent upon your environment. If I'm hiking Mount Charleston, and I'm going 20 miles in a day, I may drink a lot more because I'm using a lot more, going through a lot more, right? But anyway, that's the holistic guideline. So I say that's too much water for most people. I think it's too neurotic because most of us need to keep things very simple and elegant and livable. And what we find is, so in the beginning, especially if you're coming from drinking sodas and monster drinks, I can't believe people actually do that, but I'm sorry. If you're doing that right now, we have a lot of compassion for you. But okay, so if you're coming from Red Bulls, monster drinks, sodas, Diet Cokes, and all that stuff, then it's very useful to start out with these guidelines of half your body weight in ounces per day, because you're transitioning from a fluid that is completely toxic and also diuretic to something that you're replenishing your body with hydration and the ability for it to do all the different roles that water plays inside the body. So it's useful to measure that out. So when I work with clients initially, especially if they're coming from a very, very different place from where we are, I have them set aside 100 ounces of water in a day, or 2 40-ounce canteens, or something along those lines, right? And I say, I do want you to get through this in a day, because they're swapping it out for something else. Otherwise they'd kind of starve themselves with liquids because they're so used to what they're doing, and they don't have something else. Now, over time, what we'd recommend is that you don't be that neurotic with it, and that you hydrate to thirst.
Right.
Okay, which is intuitive, right? But let's just assume, let's say we had a fresh spring right here that was ultra clean. We had access to water all day, every day, and we were living out in the woods, and we would just drink it when we wanted to. It wouldn't be that big a deal, right? You don't have to be that neurotic. But I do think that to kind of just make sure that you're mitigating any potential problems with slight dehydration, downing water in the morning. We used to say 16 hours, but what we would recommend is just downing water in general.
Right.
So downing water in the morning. Wonder if that can come through. Downing water in the morning, and then, sorry, we just have someone come out having a conversation on the phone, which is, we can't avoid it, and it happens sometimes, right? So, anyway, downing water first thing in the morning. We used to say 16 ounces, but I would say just downing like a big glass of water, taking a bunch of gulps from your canteen or something like that, right? And then I would say hydrating post-workout is extremely beneficial, right? Because during a workout, you're breathing heavy. A lot of the water that we excrete comes through the vapor in our breath, and I think that's just extreme. Those 2 points, and then throughout the day, you're just drinking water to thirst.
Right.
When you want it, when you need it.
That's a way less neurotic way of drinking water. You don't have to measure. You don't have to whatever. Just feel your body.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep.
I want to take it back to a little something you said earlier about the soda and the toxins and everything in our body. There's also a really popular myth that says water can flush those things out. So a lot of people do still drink soda and do the water neurotically. So what do you say about that?
Well, okay, so let's talk about, so there are, some of the things that we're going to bring up are probably like myths. Some of them might have some truth to it, right?
Sure.
So like we just said, you don't have to drink eight glasses a day, but starting out, maybe it's useful to have some kind of a rule, and then to thirst, right? So so let's talk about what we can get from being hydrated properly. And usually for most of us, this means to thirst. So it will make you feel good. You'll have consistent energy levels. You'll perform well as an athlete. Man, I can't even tell you how many times I've had too many drinks in a night, gone in to work out, not rehydrated myself, and had a horrible workout. And then on the same token, had some drinks, and then made a point to really hydrate until my urine was clear before working out, and then I worked out fine.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, it will help you perform definitely. A lot of people, it will help with the transit time in their bowel movements, because if you're dehydrated, that is one of the contributing reasons that we have slow bowel movements or constipation, and then you're going to have less headaches, less joint pain, because everything's lubricated well. So if we looked at the roles of water inside the body, then we'd say oxygen delivery to cells, transporting of nutrients, cellular hydration, removing toxins, flushing waste, cushioning joints and bones and organs, and then also cell-to-cell communication is dependent because it all goes through interstitial fluid, right? Now, that doesn't mean that the more water you drink, the more that you're going to have these things happen. It's just saying that within the presence of water, we have all these beneficial roles. So yes, flushing toxins does happen. Is drinking water, in addition to the Monster drinks, better than just drinking Monster drinks? Probably, but it's probably not flushing out the toxins that are in the Monster drinks.
Right, okay.
It's just helping with the detox process when it happens. You know what I mean? So it's like drinking a Monster drink, you're getting the toxins. Water's not going to counter that. Water's going to help your body get rid of them, which it's going to try to get rid of them anyway. So being hydrated might help with that. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how about another one?
All right.
The very popular one of water helps you lose weight, or
that's a good one. Yeah.
More in depth, helps you lose body fat.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So that's interesting.
Right.
Is that kind of out there?
Yeah. No,
okay.
it is.
All right. Drinking water in and of itself is not going to make you lose weight.
Right. It's not the end all be all.
No.
Magic pill.
Yeah. No. It's not going to make you lose weight. What happens is we have a lot of times a healthy user bias. You know what that is? Have we talked about that before?
A little bit.
All right.
Refresh us.
So healthy user bias means that when I embark on doing something good for me, chances are I'm probably doing other good things for me. right?
Okay.
So let's say that I'm like, I get this hair up my butt and I want to go out and get healthier, right? Sorry, Sonia's making a face. I get an itch.
Yes.
Okay, let's say I get an itch and I want to get healthier, right? I'm like, all right. So what's one of the things I need to do to be healthier? I need to drink more water, clean water, right? And then I get rid of my sodas and stuff. And then I try to eat healthier. So there's all these other things happening. And then I lose weight because I'm doing all these beneficial things.
Right.
It's not because I'm drinking water.
Right.
Maybe water is a contributor in like this healthful lifestyle, and it's helping me be more diligent with other health practices. But drinking water in and of itself is not going to make you lose weight, because the problem, if it did, man, people would go out and they drink too much water thinking they're going to lose weight.
True.
Right?
True.
So if it's helping you replace junk, yes. If it's helping you live a healthier lifestyle, then sure, it's going to contribute to that. But water in and of itself is not doing that.
Awesome. Okay.
Does that answer that?
Yes. It's like the snowball effect. It's the beginning of it. It's not the end all be all.
Yep.
So
cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. I like sitting here talking to you and looking at you like this. This is way different than what we've been doing.
Look into my eyeballs.
Yeah.
So how about drinking too much water? We hear that a lot.
All right, hold on. We got some people coming through.
It's disrupting other manners, right? You don't have.
I don't know if you can filter that out. If not, then we apologize. This is real, raw, on location. All right, so what was the question again?
Is it possible to drink too much water? Can you overhydrate?
What do you think?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so. Your body's going to find a way to flush it out.
All right, so remember what we talked about before, the holistic guidelines, 100 ounces, right? There's a reason that there's a max.
Yeah.
Okay, because you can drink too much. Absolutely. Really? Now, worst case scenario, there's this situation, I can't remember what it's called, but it's hyponatremia. Okay, hyponatremia.
All right.
But anyway, okay, so what it is drinking too much water will end up flushing out electrolytes and especially sodium out of your system.
Okay.
Right. So I had a guy in college when I was at West Point, and we were on one of our runs, and he just hit the floor, and then the medics came and rushed to him. And I remember we were running up a hill, and I looked back and we saw people grabbing him, and so what happened is, in the Army, like they tell you to hydrate and hydrate and hydrate and hydrate and hydrate, and so we're just downing water all the time. Well, that's exactly what happened to this guy.
Snap.
And it can be extremely dangerous. Now, that's worst case scenario. What I think in the short term is if you start to drink more than that 100 ounces or a gallon, and again, it depends on environment. Again, if we're doing something extremely physically exhausting and exerting, then maybe your drinking to thirst is going to be more than your drinking to thirst when you're just not doing anything. But I just feel like you can run the risk of diluting things and flushing out nutrients more than is natural, right? So I think just having this idea and concept of our body is pretty miraculous. It can do pretty well with certain amounts of things, but in excess anything can be damaging.
Right.
Including water, including nutrients, including healthy proteins and fats and carbohydrates. It's like everything has to have some kind of balance to it.
Okay.
So.
No, good to know, because that's something out there that's super popular. Another thing that is very popular and highly advertised and marketed, which we are not the biggest fan of as a community, but it's having that mindset of having a Powerade or a Gatorade or an enhanced sports drink if you are someone like an athlete, like us here at the Combine. What do you say about enhanced sports drinks?
Okay. It's funny because we've been in this world for so long, and when you are that Gatorade and Powerade is just pointless. It's worthless. It's in the opposite direction. But there is, I think, the mainstream conventional wisdom view is hey, it's good to have this, especially around sporting activities and things like that. So do you know where Gatorade came from? Do you remember the?
I really should.
Okay.
But I don't.
Why should you?
Because I've known it in the past, but now I have no idea.
Well, it was created because this football team, it was around, I think, the mid-1960s, this football team requested I think it was on their campus scientists, team of science, campus researcher people, to put together some kind of a sports drink that would help their team win and do better. And so these guys figured out a couple of experimental formulas, and that first formula, I think, had sodium, a little bit of sugar, but not much at all. I think the sugar was a little bit more for the taste. I mean, they knew glucose might be beneficial, but then their main focus was the electrolytes. So they had sodium and potassium and a couple others, and they also had fresh squeezed lemon juice in it, which I thought was really interesting. So,
right.
And then they tried to do some studies. Really, they just gave their teams, some of this stuff, or the team. I think it was the Florida Gators, and of course, they felt like it improved the performance, but they weren't really measuring it in any way. So if I give you like this little drink and I say, hey man, I want you, okay, tomorrow's game, we're going to drink this drink, and then afterwards we're going to try to see how we feel from it and if we did good, right? So of course you're going to be like, yeah, I took this drink, we did great, we won. Maybe it was a Gatorade, who knows? So it's like there wasn't really a whole lot of research done on it, but it started to take flight because it was an advantage that people felt like they were having, just like if someone came in and did some kind of massage therapy for a team before a game and some kind of, the list is endless as far as those possibilities go. So, so anyway, that's how that was initially developed, and now we know it's morphed into this super sugary, everyone drinks it because it tastes better than juice kind of thing. And so to have that, when you drink water, you want pristine water. When you drink water, you want water, because usually water is in between meals. We understand that we don't want to be having caloric nutrients in the body all the time or consuming it all the time, because we're disrupting our body's ability to tap into fat stores for fuel and have this whole self-sufficiency and metabolic flexibility concept. So I think it's great to have water that has some minerals in it, because that's mimicking an evolutionary template. If we're drinking groundwater from a well or that's naturally filtered through groundwater, it's naturally picking up minerals. And that's a good thing, because when you look at all the different fluids inside the body, our tears, our mucus, our saliva, our interstitial fluid between the cells and tissues, our digestive juices, none of that is just really clean water. Most of that really looks something like salt water. So I think it is beneficial to have minerals in water. And then we see like a lot of benefits that come from that, because like we just said, but otherwise the body would have to convert really clean water into that interstitial fluid and all these different tears and mucus and stuff. And to do that, it would have to pull nutrients from somewhere else. So that's the best sports drink, I think, is just mineralizing your water with a pinch of unrefined salt, like Celtic salt, real salt, Himalayan salt. We like that product, 40,000 volts. Do you use that?
I don't.
Okay. So just a little squirt of that. It's got some sodium, it's got potassium, so it's got a lot of minerals in it, but no caloric value. You can also maybe squeeze some lemon, lime, soak it in some citrusy fruits or something like that. You might get a little bit of benefit from that, but it really makes it taste okay. So there's no need for it. You don't want to baby your body all the time.
Right.
You want to just drink clean water. Mineralized, we'd say, is optimal. A little bit of salt, a little bit of that concentrates, 40,000 volts. We'll put a link to that. Other than that, just allow and trust your body to do what it needs to do, given these basic inputs.
Right. So we've talked about the popular myths and some of the things out there that are true, not true. But let's divert back to our community and what we really recommend to stay hydrated.
Okay, cool. So maybe we'll just summarize everything that we kind of just went through, right?
Sounds good.
All right, so to summarize then, we'd say when transitioning from the wrong way of doing things, especially if you're doing a lot of sodas and Monster drinks and Red Bulls and stuff like that, then having an initial guideline of half your body weight in ounces up to 100 ounces per day is great, okay, during your transitional period. Once you get off of the Cokes and all that stuff and you're eating real food, you feel relatively confident, then you can start drinking to thirst. We'd always recommend mineralizing your water with a pinch of salt. That's almost literally free, like a pinch of unrefined Celtic, Himalayan, or real salt. That's going to activate it and give it a little bit of minerals. You don't want to make your water taste like salt water, but you just want to activate it a little bit, right? I'd say everyone would benefit from downing some water first thing in the morning just to get the system moving and flushed a little bit. Always drink after drinking alcoholic beverages. Even better would be to have a glass of water with every drink that you have to stay hydrated. And then drinking water after a workout tends to be extremely beneficial because you go through so much of that, during the workout. And then sparkling waters are great. I drink a lot of Topo Chico. I like Gerald Steiner. I'd say those are the top 3 brands right now that I'm recommending is Topo Chico, Gerald Steiner, and Pellegrino, because they come from really pristine sources and there's a little bit of minerals in them. The carbonation is a moot thing. It doesn't matter. It's not good or bad. But then flavored waters and things, I'd say those need to be complements to clean water hydration. So things like LaCroix and Zevia, coffees and teas, perfectly fine. But the majority of your hydration needs to come from clean water.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
And sparkling waters.
That sounds great. And I'm glad you added Pellegrino in that because it's my favorite.
Oh my God, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm addicted to them. So.
I know. Anything else?
I don't think so. I think that's short and sweet and it covers everything that we needed to cover.
All right. Stay hydrated out there.
Stay hydrated. All right, good to see you too.
Thanks, Paul.
Right. Later.
Your hand is bleeding.
Why? No, it's a red marker.
Oh.
Thank you guys for listening.
Yeah, so remember, the purpose of this podcast is to support our SHT community and to be in your ear as a go-to resource for all things SHT.
If any of you have fallen off, if you need support, honestly, just come back and listen to some of these episodes. Get re-inspired, get re-motivated, and get re-engaged. If you're new to us, the best way to get started is by joining our newsletter at sht4life.com.
That's SHT, the number 4, life.com. And you can also find us on Facebook at Superhuman Transformation, and then on Instagram, Superhuman Transformation, which you're doing an amazing job with.
Thank you.
And then also Twitter, it's SHT, the number 4, life. I think that's all we got.
See ya.